Hello guys, Smart Polly here. Welcome back to episode 4 of the Unreal Engine Complete Beginner's Guide. In today's video, we will be focusing on Mixamo, a free library of character animations. I will show you guys how to download the animations, how to retarget them for any character that you have. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, go ahead and head over to Miximo.com. To log in, you will either need to create an account for free. You can use either an Adobe account that you have, and if you don't have one, you can create an account, or you can sign in using a Google account, Facebook, or Apple. Alright, so once you log in, the layout here is quite simple. What you're going to see here is the animations on the left side, and you're going to see this default character right here in this viewport. The navigation in the viewport is really simple. You just pan with the middle mouse button, left click to rotate, and that's pretty much all the controls you need to know. So what Mixamo allows you to do is to take any character and rig it here in Mixamo. You can also use some of the Mixamo characters. So if you head over to the characters tab, there are a bunch of different characters that you can use. They are all free. As you can see here, we can click on one and you're going to see the character here. You can also preview animations to that character by going to the animations tab and clicking on an animation. You can see a preview on that character. Okay, so really at the heart, Mixamo is an animation library where you have hundreds of animations here, motion capture, ranging from running, walking, sprinting, to even fighting animations. And they have these various different packs here. So we have a longbow locomotion pack, sword and shield. The main part that I want to focus on though is the fact that you can take any of these animations and use it for any sort of character you're using in Unreal Engine 4. You can essentially take an animation and retarget it or reuse it for the Unreal SK mannequin, which is the default third-person character in Unreal Engine. Okay, so let's go ahead and download some animations. So you can go ahead and reset the character back to the default character. So if you click over to characters here, scroll down and go to the third page, you're going to see this Xbot character. So it's going to say proceed with this new character. Your previous character will not be saved. You're going to go ahead and click use this character. And so now we can go back to the animations tab. And you can see all the different animations, and you can preview all of those with that character. I'm just going to go ahead and click on this crouch to stand, and I'm going to go ahead and download that. And you're going to see here there's the download settings, so you can get the Fbx with skin or without skin. That's just the mesh that it comes with. You can just click with skin, click download. And then there's another animation we can probably get, which is walking. This simple walking animation. As you can see, the character is not walking in place. So whenever you're using Mixamo animations where the character is moving, you want to make sure that you click in place. This is important if you're not doing any root motion animation with your character. So just keep that in mind to click the in place. So go ahead and click download Fbx and download that. Then we're going to go ahead and open up Unreal, and I'll show you guys how to import the Fbx files into Unreal Engine. I'll go ahead and make a new project, just a default third-person project. I'll go ahead and just name this Mixamo. Okay, so the importing of these animations is pretty simple. To import your animation, you can just drag and drop it. But first, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just duplicate one of these. So just right click and copy and paste that. And I'm just going to name this Mixamo base. You'll see why I did this here in a second. So we can go ahead and take the Mixamo base and drag and drop it into our content browser. You're going to see this Fbx Import options pops up. Since this is the Skeletal Mesh, we're going to import the Skeletal Mesh, import mesh, and then you scroll down here. You want to make sure that you convert scene unit. So this is going to convert the units of the character to match up with the Unreal units. This is very important, especially if you're going to be using the physics asset, which I'll talk about later. And you can either create the materials or not, it doesn't really matter. So we'll go ahead and click import. As you can see here, we've imported the mesh. We have a skeletal mesh right here, the physics asset, and the Miximo skeleton. Okay, so now we can go ahead and import our animations, this walking animation and crouch to standing. So if we select those and drag it into our folder here, you're going to see the Fbx Import options pops up as well. You want to uncheck the import mesh since these are animations, and you want to make sure that you have the Miximo base skeleton that we just imported selected. And that all looks good. You can go ahead and just click import and then import. Alright, so if we go ahead and click on this crouch to stand, you're going to see that the animation here is playing. And over here you can see the walking animation as well. And real quick, I'm just going to explain these 3 files right here, the skeletal mesh, the physics asset, and the skeleton. So if we open the skeletal mesh, we can go ahead and dock this at the top. So if you've never used the skeletal mesh editor, this is the top toolbar right here. You got your simple buttons like save, cloth paint for cloth physics, and the asset details here. You have the materials. This holds the information for all the materials on your character. Then we have LODs, mesh, and then the slot to change out the physics asset. It's all pretty standard. And then over here we have the skeleton tree. So this just shows you all the bones in the skeleton for a character. And then over here on the right we have the morph target preview. So if you have morph targets, like if you're going to change the shape and size of the character's body. Then over here we have the preview scene, so you can just preview an animation blueprint. Okay, and at the top here you're going to see skeleton, animation, physics. Basically that's if you were to click this skeleton or physics, it's going to pop here as well. This is just like if you were going to click those files, it's just going to switch the mode. So just think of these as modes. So if we go into skeleton right here, you're going to see the skeleton on the left, the details. So you can click on a different bone, see the details for that, and a preview scene right there. Okay, and this is a little viewport as well. You can take your little mouse and zoom into your character here. In this skeletal mesh editor, you're going to be doing work here on your character, especially if you're taking Miximo animations like this. And if you want to take, say, this walking animation and use it here for your third-person character mesh, or perhaps you have another character model that you want to use the animation for. Like say if you're using a Daz character like you've seen in some of my other videos, or if you've purchased a character off the marketplace. Okay, so we have the skeleton, which we just went over, the mesh, the animation editor. So here we have a little timeline. We can add little notifies that we can bind events to blueprints. On the left here we have just asset details. Okay, so information about the animation, skeleton tree as always, and then on the bottom right here we have the asset browser, so you can click on different animations here, and you have your little play buttons here, you can watch the animation. Okay, and then the physics asset, so this is like if you're going to set up like a ragdoll or something, that's where you would go to modify the physics. Okay, so a very basic overview of the skeletal mesh editor. Let's go ahead and go over how to use the Miximo animation here for our third-person character, which is using a method called retargeting. Some of you might be familiar if you watch some of my Daz Studio to Unreal tutorials. But to take a Miximo animation, such as this walking animation, and to retarget it for our character, what you need to go ahead and do is go to the skeleton. Here at the top, the retargeting manager. It's going to pull up this little window right here where you can retarget the character skeleton. So to do that, you're going to go here to select rig, click the drop down and click select humanoid rig. And as you can see here, it's going to load all of these little windows right here. So we have root, pelvis, spine, all that right there. So you can go ahead and click auto map, and this is going to try to automatically assign all the bones from the Mixamo skeleton to the source. So as you can see here, root, hips, pelvis, it tries to do its best job, but really you're going to have to adjust this manually. What we're going to do is for the root, we're going to set this to none. For the pelvis, we're going to set this to the hips. For the spine 01, we're going to do the spine. And we're going to basically go through each and every single one and set this up properly. The reason why I know which ones are which is because if you go into the skeletal mesh right here, if you just search sk_mannequin, over in the skeleton, you're going to see the root, pelvis, spine. That's where I'm getting this information from. I'm just using that and changing the bones in the Mixamo skeleton accordingly. And once you've done this once here for the Mixamo character, you don't have to ever do it again. So just keep that in mind. Now, I do also have this cheat sheet right here, which you guys can download. And it just shows you all of the different bone mappings that you need to set as. So the root to none, pelvis to hips, spine 01 to spine. It has that all figured out for you. So I'll leave the download link for that in the description below. Once you're finished setting all those, you also need to click the show advanced. So this is all like the index fingers, the ring fingers, all that stuff. You're going to have to also match those all up. But likewise, I also have this Mixamo advanced mapping cheat sheet, which shows all of the bones that you need to remap here for index to left hand index. All of those ones are all here set up here for you. So you guys can go ahead and just download this cheat sheet, pause the video and match every single one up. And to get back to the base, you just click show base or show advanced. So I'm going to go ahead and switch these all out for now. So likewise, just go ahead and pause the video while you do this. Alright, so now that you have all those mapped, so you have the base, as well as the advanced, all the fingers, and again, you guys can download those in the description below. So once you have that mapped, you can save that as an actual file to use in your future projects. You can't export the file out of the project, but you can migrate it from project to project, so just keep that in mind. But you can go ahead and save that as is. Alright, so now what we want to go ahead and do is make sure that you have your SK mannequin skeleton here open and your Mixamo base skeleton here is open as well. So go ahead and pop this window out here. Make sure that this is the skeleton window. And then for the Mixamo skeleton, you can pop that out here as well. And we're just going to drag the engine here to the very back so you guys don't have to see that. And then I'm just going to drag these windows, size them up. And then I'm going to click on the skeleton tree right here. So again, make sure that you're in the skeleton right here. And to get this retargeting manager, you just click on this retargeting manager to bring that up. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is modify this skeleton. So make sure you have the humanoid rig selected here. Okay, and then we can go over to the skeleton tree and we can start doing some work here. So first we're going to take the upper arm L, make sure that it's transforming this and rotating this to the world coordinates. So we can go ahead and rotate this about 50 degrees like so. That's the upper arm L. Then we're going to go to the upper arm R and do the same, rotate it 50 degrees. Okay, and then up next, we're going to rotate in the lower arms here. So click lower arm R and rotate that about 25 degrees like so. And then for the left lower arm L, rotate that in 20 degrees. So we are just very simply matching the same pose as our Mixamo character. So take the lower arm L and rotate it down about 10 degrees. And same with the lower arm R, take it down 10 degrees. Okay, as for the hands and fingers, we also have to work on that. So we can go ahead and click on hand R and bring that up about -15 degrees. For the fingers, we're going to go into perspective right, and we're going to adjust each 0, 1 here. So click on index 0, 1, rotate that up 20 degrees. Middle 0, 1, rotate it up probably about 15 degrees. And then pinky 0, 1, rotate that up about 10 degrees. And ring 0, 1, we can rotate that up about 15 degrees. So really just trying to line them all up like the Mixamo character. It doesn't really have to be too perfect. We can always go back and modify it later on. Okay, so same thing here on the other side. We'll go to the left hand, start with that first and rotate that up about 15 degrees. Okay, and then we'll start with the index 0, 1, rotate that up about 20 degrees. Middle 0, 1, 15 degrees. Pinky 0, 1, 15 degrees or maybe 10 degrees. Ring 0, 1, rotate that up about 15 degrees, and that should be all good. Okay, next up we have to pull the thighs in a little bit. So if you go to perspective right, you can see here that the thighs need to be in more. So we can go ahead and click here on thigh L. Make sure your snapping is to 5 degrees. You take that in just a little bit, 5 degrees. And then the thigh R, you just want to pull that in a little bit, like so. As for the feet, we need to align that as well. So click on at the very bottom here, foot L. We can rotate that 5 degrees. Foot R, rotate that 5 degrees. So that's flush with the ground. So we can go back into perspective and make sure that looks all good. All right, and then you can go ahead and click save. You want to go in the retargeting manager and click here, modify pose, use current pose. And then that is basically, you can just save that. It will save the pose there. So you can hide the pose or you can view the pose. It doesn't really matter. So we can go ahead and close out of that. And then over here, we're going to go to the skeleton tree, go to options, show retargeting options. You're going to go ahead and right click anywhere in here and click recursively set translation retargeting system. Okay, and then we also want to hit the applied asset here. Very important you do this. We can go ahead and save that and close out of there. Back in our project here, we can go to our folder, and now we can go ahead and click on an animation, say walking. You want to right click, click retarget anim assets. Okay, and then you're going to see this retargeting manager here. So it says select skeleton, so we're going to select the UE4 mannequin skeleton. And we're going to change the output folder here. We can go ahead and just put it in the mannequin folder here. Click OK. And then we can go ahead and click retarget. So now you can see it retargeted the animation. We can go ahead and double click it. And you can see our character here now it has the walking animation. Okay, so it looks like we actually had a little bit of an issue here with the feet. So you can see the legs, or at least the thighs here, are a little bit messed up. So we need to go back and actually go ahead and fix that. Okay, so all you need to go ahead and do to fix that is actually change the calf twists here. I guess I had it wrong in my bone mapping sheet here, but I'll update that so you guys won't have this issue. If you guys are watching this right now, you won't have this issue at all because I'll have this updated. But basically, I just didn't have the, I guess the calf twist and the thigh twist were all messed up. But I retargeted, I deleted the old animation and just clicked on the walking and retargeted that again. And I just did that real quick. And as you can see here, if I play this animation, you can see that the legs are all fine. And everything is working good. Okay, so now that we've done that for that one, you can go ahead and retarget the crouch to stand. So to do that, you right click, retarget, and then click the UE4 mannequin skeleton. Change the folder location to the mannequin or whatever folder you want, and then just click retarget. So you can go ahead and preview it. And as you can see here, everything is looking fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Once you've retargeted and set up all the retargeting information for your character, you can go ahead and use any Miximo animation that you want. So go ahead and just download whatever animations you want to use. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to set it all up with a character, how to set up a blend space so that you can run around with your character in your game. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.